It is yes. Oh my god. There we go. There we go. Hello, welcome back to the stream. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Bounty Acquired. It's been a while since we did this. Our first episode was around a month ago with my good friend Pingu. And today we are joined by my another wonderful friend of mine, Billy, aka One Little Piranha. Do you want to introduce yourself and what you
Yeah,
do?
sure. Hi everyone. I'm One Little Piranha, or you can call me Billy. I'm I guess a singer-songwriter on the internet, and I like to create a safe space when I stream. So that's what I guess I do. That what I
Yeah,
do.
that's what you do. Yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, how long has it been since we met each other? It's gotta be over a year by now, like at
Yeah,
least.
I think so. I think it has to be over a year. Were were you streaming when you had met me at the time? Like, or were you just
I feel like I don't think I had my model yet. I feel like I was definitely just PNG. I was just like a little baby PNG tuber. And and yeah, I don't know how I found you. I think I came across you either through Twitch recommended or I think it was Twitch recommended. And yeah, it was
blessed Twitch?
very less Twitch. Yeah, it was like back in what do I remember the first stream I watched you at? I don't know. There was
In
definitely I was
VR chat?
definitely yeah, I was definitely early VR chat, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Because I remember joining, I'm like, "Hi."
Yeah, wait, did you raid me? Was that your introduction to
I
me?
think so. It was something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I remember getting a raid from you, and then eventually you joined me in VRC, but I'm like, did that happen when you first met me, or did that
Yeah,
happen after? Like, I'm
I think it was
it
shortly after,
it's
yeah. But,
yeah, but
with VTubers, we don't have the greatest memory, so
yeah, I mean, our memory stored online, we gotta make space, so, we have to put it away somewhere.
Exactly, exactly. Um, but yeah, this is Billy. You did mention uh creating a safe and fostering a safe community. That's something that I feel like we both have in common. I feel like there's not really a lot of say so VTubers or like predominantly say so VTubers around. Do you want to kind
Yeah.
of talk a little
Yeah,
bit about
I
that
can I
or?
can I can elaborate on that. Um, I think it's not that okay. I think there's a lot of say so VTubers out there. It's just more. It's like you said, predominantly the ones that I feel like. How do I say this? Because I'm I guess like in regards to say so VTubing, it's more. I think there's more of a market for not like family friendly PG-13 content creators because it's mostly I would say I think the demographic would be a lot of adults or teens who are like 18,
Sure. Yeah.
um and in the Western audience, I think there is mostly like at least in regards with males, I think it's a lot of 18 plus male VTubers. And I think
Hmm.
it's just
Hmm.
because a lot of people just don't want to deal with kids. And I totally get that. But yeah, I mean, I love the idea of being able to be a safe space for all and not restricted because I like when I stream and I don't know about for yourself, Kuzi, but
Hmm.
I when I stream I just want to chill and relax and I don't I don't, like, swear that much anyways, I don't really talk about inappropriate things, so I'm like, I don't feel like I need to restrict it. Plus, I make music primarily, and I don't wanna be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you're not over
You
18, you
can't.
can't listen to my music."
You're not
You
allowed to.
know
You're too young for music. Hello.
Exactly, yeah. Um, it's
Yeah.
it's wonderful, though, getting to, I, like, get to do this and I don't know, knowing that we could, I guess, be role models for some, I guess, for some people in the future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I once had, someone come into my chat and be like, "I just got jump scared by your rules." I was like, because they're gonna be quite a bit more extensive because of the nature
Mhm.
of the content, so I
Yeah,
always found that funny. I was like, "Yeah, well, I
we
appreciate you listening to the or reading the rules, but"
yeah, we have to be a lot more strict. I mean, I guess that's one of the things is like it's a lot of trial and error. Like I know it seems like we're strict, but the reason why we might seem strict is because it's in our best of interest to protect those, especially when you have a community. Like I would say if you're doing just Twitch, it's a lot easier, but once you have a Discord community, it gets a lot more stricter because you're mixing in all sorts of people
Right.
in there, and then you have to be a little more strict. Even though sometimes people are like, "Why are you so strict?" It's like, well, we do it to protect everyone, you know.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely something. Also, guys, if you wanna ask any questions, I'll be pulling questions from the chat as well, so feel free to throw some questions in and, we'll try and get to them, of course.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, of course, you mentioned music. That is, one thing you are known for, and, uh, and you mentioned also hoping to get more into it this upcoming year. Do you
Yeah,
wanna kind of go over, like, what like that is. I guess we can play a quick sizzle reel of Billy's music here. Let me see if I can do this uh efficiently. Let me see. Where was it? Here we go. Let's see.
if I'm gone, please don't wait. Go and live your life. And if I'm gone, please don't stay and stop living this lie. And if I'm gone, I'll never fall down. 2, 3. Alcohol consumption's at the highest it's been. To feel something again is the reason I live. Day to day life, though it feels like a chore. I'm proud to just wake up, though I wish I had more. More of a reason to get up every day. This emptiness I feel, will I ever be okay? Though even if I had everything I ever wanted, think I'd always feel like I'm always unwanted. I don't even know what time of day it is. All I wanna do is make memories I'll forget. Strange fears I want is to be found. And all I need is to let myself out. Paranoia seeps inside where my demons tend to lie. All I want is to be found. To be found.
Ah, amazing. So talented. Oh my goodness.
That was a pretty good mashup you made. I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
Of course, of
Yeah,
course. But yeah,
I,
walk us through like that whole, process of, you know, having original music be like a big part of your content as a VTuber.
yeah, okay. Yeah, so I feel like with, a lot of, I guess, like, okay, with original music, I kind of always have written music as a way to express myself, like, it like, even though I never thought I was gonna be a V singer, it kind of became my identity because I was just right, like I said, to express myself, to vent how I was feeling at the time.
Mhm.
And eventually I'd be playing these songs and, people on stream would be like, "Hey, like, really like that." And I'd be like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll just keep playing these type of music. I'll keep making music." And why I'm going so hard into music for this year was I think after making music for so long, it took a little bit of time for me to have more confidence to really, like, pursue it because I think I just needed that, like, push, but,
Yeah,
though I was just like, "If I'm not doing it now, when am I gonna do it?" Right? So, because
exactly.
I feel like I've always been someone who just plays my songs live on stream, but I would never record it, and I'm like, "You know what? Let's get these songs out because people have been wanting to hear them. They want them out, so instead of just hearing it only when I stream, so I need to get it out." And the whole process is just I wanna be known as that, like, I don't wanna be known as just a VTuber who makes music, but I wanna just be known as, like, a musician who happens to be a VTuber.
Sure. Yeah.
It sounds maybe it sounds weird, but there's a big difference because I want my music to be accessible by all. I don't want people just to be like, "Oh, it's a VTuber who sings," but I wanna be like, "Oh, it's a musician first and then, like, a
Yeah.
VTuber." Because there are definitely some people who won't listen to music just because they're like, "Oh, a VTuber made it," right?
Yeah. It's
And
like
that's
a
okay,
stigma
but
behind it, right? Mm.
yeah, but, it it's more like I also just wanna I don't know, I see so many, VTubers who just, like, create covers a lot, and I wanna be able to show, like, "Hey, like, let's create more original music," like and I feel like a lot of people have it's more self-confidence, like, they think, "Oh, no one's gonna like my music," kinda thing, but
Yeah.
I kinda do a lot of original songs in hopes that maybe it'll push people to create their own stuff because maybe if people listen to my music, maybe they'll be like, "Oh, wait, people will listen to my music if I do that too," you know? And because a lot of people, I feel like it's like, "Oh, I gotta do what's trending, the most popular songs," and yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's usually the best case to go about, like, growth and stuff, but, if there's anything I've learned about doing that stuff is if you just become a cover-only artist, is that sometimes it might be very discouraging if you post original songs in the future, and then you're like, "Oh, they're not doing as well as my covers," and then you go back to your covers because it, like and it 'cause it feel so
Yeah.
also maybe that was another reason why did originals mostly. Well, also, I used to no, actually, being honest, I sucked at covering songs, Kuzi, so I was like, "I'm never gonna cover songs again, I'm just gonna create my own
No.
songs." That was
No.
the reason I started writing my own music was, like, I sang a cover and I posted online, and someone's like, "You suck at singing," and I'm like, "I'm never covering again, I'm just gonna write
No.
my own music."
Ah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, because currently I'm on the opposite end of that where
Yeah.
all I've ever released is covers. And I'm
Mhm.
like slowly trying to break into that original song kind of um territory, but we had a discussion a few days ago about it, and
Yeah.
yeah, you've definitely gotten me kind of motivated to hopefully work on something, but um yeah, it always seems to be like intimidating to find um a starting off point for like writing original music.
Yeah. I mean, it's kinda just with anything, right? Like, it's always scary to take that first step when it's
Mhm.
something new. Um, but something I was realizing was, like, there's a lot of people who will spend hundreds, if not even thousands, on covers, and sometimes, it's like I think, like, I'm like they'll be like, "Oh, I wanna create my own song," and I'm like, like, for the amount of money that you're spending on these covers, you could make your own song too, and it could be, like, yours, right?" Some people don't want that, which is fine, but there's also I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna rant a little bit, actually, if that's okay.
Please, of
Um
course.
there there's a lot of people out there who I don't like, if people are singing just for fun, they wanna spend however much money they want on these covers, that's fine, whatever they wanna do, singing is for fun. But I'll see people who say they are, like, for example, a musician and they're, like, a singer, and but then I go on their stuff, like, their whole brand is, "I'm an idol. I'm a singing idol." And I go on their thing, they have one super produced, like, debut song, maybe it's a cover, maybe it's original,
Mhm.
and then that's it for the whole year. There's no other songs released, and that's like there. And so I'm like, and it's like, and then maybe they might make a post on Twitter or something that's like, I'm so sad, no one's like checking out my song, and I'm like, well, if you only do music once, it kind of makes sense, right? People aren't like, but they say they're like, and I don't know. I see that so much, and it drives me crazy because I feel like as a musician myself, and and you're a musician as well. We constantly try to produce music in hopes that music will reach people. Like, sometimes I feel
Yeah.
like I don't know, there's nothing wrong with doing music for, like, fun, but there's also people who will, like, say, like, they're a musician and get sad, like, their music's not being seen when it's like, if you only do music, like, once, like, it's like if you do anything once and you never do it again, it's like, well, of course, people aren't gonna they'll listen to it once and that's it, eh? I don't
Yeah,
know what I'm trying to go.
exactly.
It's just I see it so much and, like, it sometimes bothers me because it's like people who I guess it's like as a musician myself, and I'm like really wanting to like push my music. Sometimes when I see people who will just say like, "Oh, I don't get why people won't listen to my music." It's like, well, you're not putting in more of the effort to say I don't know. Because if you're doing it for fun, like yeah, like have fun. But when you get upset about like it's like almost like saying you're a musician, but you're actually like not well, I don't know. Maybe I should say that, but it's like it's like I don't know, because it's the same kind of people who won't who'll release an original song or a cover and then they never perform live, they never do karaoke's, they just say like, "Yeah, I'm
Mm.
an idol." And it's like, "Oh, okay." Like, that's your whole brand, but you only have sang one produced song and you don't do karaokes, you don't do live performances, you don't release any more songs, like, okay.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know, the reason yeah, I mean, it's kinda like I mean, I guess, like, how I feel about this is how probably other VTubers feel about I know for a while I'm not like I feel like there was a huge thing about it how there'd be so many people who would spend tons of money creating VTuber stuff, getting VTuber art, all that, but then they would never stream.
Yeah,
They would never even create content. They would just I mean they would create content, but it was like just get it. It was like it was just like tweeting only or something like the
sure.
V tweeters or
V-tweeter.
something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that was like a meme for a little bit, and it's like and that's how I feel with, like, musicians or how VTubers might feel about other VTubers, like, saying, like, "Yeah, I'm a VTuber," but it's like, well, it's like a VTuber that essentially what a VTuber is, like, your own character that you virtually stream on, right? Stream
Mhm.
as? And yeah, like, there's nothing wrong with, tweeting and all that. If that's all you do, like, that's totally fine. It's more like when you get into the space and, like, you'll get upset, like, "How come, like, no one's gonna watch my stuff?" It's like, well, you know, maybe
Yeah, I
but
get
yeah.
that. Yeah, for
That
sure.
was my tangent.
No, no, it's good, it's good. No, that's great. But yeah, I mean, the with the processes of writing, like, what is your go-to method for, for writing a song? You know, what's your bread and butter? Like, how your creative process from, like, thinking of something to, like, actually getting out there. What do you do? Do you enjoy every aspect of that process, or are there some points where you're like, I hate this part?
I think it depends on the song. If it's a song that I'm writing because I'm feeling emotional that day, I will, it'll be easy. It'll take me like 5, 10 minutes to write. Um, if it's a song that is about like a story or something else, it might take me like a while. It might take a year or a couple years, even. And or sometimes I go in the shower and have melody. Like I like I'll like, if I'll usually, like, for example, this is what I'll do. I'll come out of the shower sometimes, like, I'll have a melody in my head, I'm like, "I gotta record this," and I'll jump out of the shower while I'm, like, water's dripping off me, I'll grab my phone, click the voice memo button, and I'll be like, "Alright, I got this idea," and 'cause then I'll send this to the producer, and I'll be like, "I want to be like, do 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 bum 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 do 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 do," and that's what I'll do, and I'll be like, the lyrics are gonna be like, "I want you to know, do 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 do," and I'll click end, I'll send it to him. I'm like, "What do you think?" And yeah, or sometimes I'll just have a melody in my head. Like hold on, let me grab my ukulele. Okay.
Oh, there he
So
goes.
I'll just so if let's say I was writing a song and I was like, I want to be like, all right, how am I gonna write this song? Like in an interview right now, being like, or podcast, be like, talking about mysteries of life. I'd be like, I'm talking about the mysteries of life. I'm like, what chord? I'd be like, talking about the mysteries of life. Something like that. Like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that sounds kind of okay. Or I'll just freestyle a melody, and I'm like, okay, this sounds not bad. And then that's usually, how it goes. I mean, I would say my biggest tip, if anyone's looking to write a song, is, write a song, um, as like a diary entry. Think of it as a diary entry. Like, think of, hey, I'm feeling this way and I want to express myself. What I used to do, I would just write how I feel and then I would pick and choose like everything I've written down and what sounds good together. What can I make like, you know, sound
Yeah.
like a song? Yeah.
Exactly. Um,
Um,
one thing I wanted to ask you that I don't think I ever asked you is how did you get into VTubing? Like, what was your kind of journey getting here from, like, when you started? Like, what was the catalyst, or what was the jumping on point?
um, that's a good question. Um, one, it's a good question because I can answer it. um,
We love
I was
those.
originally I was originally a VR chat streamer.
Oh,
I was
awesome.
and I did VR chat and I was I guess like um hmm, spoiler alert, I guess is for myself, my lore. Well, I was actually the person that I was seeing at the time was uh was an artist. They mostly did art for VTubers, and they were like, you know, why don't you? They were like telling me like I should do VTubing because it was kind of like what everyone was like doing, like and everything. And I was like, sure, and because they're like, you do VR chat, it's kind of the same, right? Like you have an avatar, you talk, a different, and I was like, okay, um, sure. And so uh, we ended up coming up with a design, and it was my old design that you guys saw, the one where I had like well, it was like me with it, I just had like black hair and I had like a hoodie on.
The
It was just
orange
very
hoodie.
simple. Um, so then I kind of yeah, it's kind of what I was like, well, you know what? If I'm already playing VR chat and I walk around with an idol, oh, not idol, an avatar, um, I'm sure if I switch to VTubing, it'll be similar. I mean, it won't be 3D.
Mhm.
I won't be as able to move my arms as much. I mean, you can definitely if you have like toggles and stuff,
Yeah.
but or if you have hand tracking. But it was like one of those things that I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And then so I went to VTubing. Honestly, I love VTubing and I love VR chat. They're both like two different communities, but they're very similar in the sense of like you gotta be you gotta feel comfortable. Like, I
Mhm.
gotta be this avatar where I can feel comfortable. In VR chat, I gotta be an avatar I felt comfortable in. I gotta be whoever I want to be. Online, on stream, I am Piranha Man, a really toned, worked out swimmer body kinda guy. In real life, I'm just, an emo skinny boy. So now so I gotta be different.
Yeah,
No.
that's awesome. I mean, for in terms of VR chat, I think you were definitely someone who pushed me to try it, or to give it another try, because I dabbled in it in the past. I did give it like a little bit of time, but when going to you, because you used to host like community VR chat community nights and stuff like that, and that was something that I
Yep.
eventually adapted myself, to a smaller degree, and I'd love to eventually go back to that. But I think VR chat is super special in terms of, like, you never know what you're gonna get with the community or with the world. It's very risky to stream. But like,
Yeah.
how do you feel about, like, do you see any similarities in the communities of the VTuber space and the VRC space, or are there
Yeah,
pros and cons to them?
there's pros and cons for sure. Um, VR chat is more I would say VR chat community is more curated. If you go to a public world, it's gonna be hit or miss. You might get like permabanned on your stream. But if you're with like groups, like group moderations, or you have your group, you can make it only so only people in your group can join, or it's or you can have it so you could be public, but you can have everyone's avatar turned off, or you can have like everyone's voices disabled kind of thing, or you have earmuff mode so you can't hear people around you. The similarities, pros and cons is I think the VR chat community is one of the most yeah, depending on which community, but it's just like with anything, they have one of the most accepting community. I mean, you have to think it is one of the most I think VR chat is like one of the most LGBTQ like friendly places
Sure,
because
yeah.
there's so many people who have the opportunity to be an avatar where they feel more like themselves and they
Yeah.
can get full body tracking and they can feel like who they are supposed to be sometimes, right? And
Mhm.
that's an amazing feeling for people, especially people who suffer with like what is it, body dysmorphia, I think.
Yeah.
I, um I feel like VR chat can be that place, and VTubing too. Like the similarities, you can be who you're comfortable being, like with the avatar, whether it's in VR chat or if you're VTubing. And I think that's one of the similarities that VTubing and VR chat have. The cons I would say is I do feel like VR chat and VTubing okay, I mean, these are similarities too, I guess. They both have their drama, like, there's both drama in both scenes. I will say, at least from my perspective, I felt like VTubing had a lot more elitism
Right.
than, VR chat community. I remember when a lot of VR like, when a lot of VTubers heard about VR chatters, like, going and becoming VTubers, they're like, "Ew, people from VR chat," 'cause VR chat has that stigma of like, "Oh, it's that weird place," you know? Oh, VR
Yeah.
chat. So people weren't necessarily happy with that. While when I've noticed VTubers like go to VR chat, people are always so quick to want to help and like
Yeah.
get people on board. That's just my experience. Also, I feel like VTubing kind of got a little bit corrupted a little bit, I like to say, because a lot of people who used to be a part of YouTube, like Utides, people who did cover songs like Vocaloid, all those things,
Yeah.
they were that was like I used to be a part of that group a long time ago. They
Uh-huh.
were some of those people are very like elitist and they kind of brought when they became VTubers, I'm not gonna mention who, but when those people became VTubers, they brought like that drama and that elite side of them with them.
They
And I feel like you see
transformed
it a
it
lot.
into the
Yeah,
community.
a lot of YouTubers before before VTubing became more mainstream, I guess, they had a lot of they kind of like brought that like drama with them. Cause I would say in 2020, VTubing was like it was just starting like more it was getting more popular in the West. It was,
It's
you
the
know,
baby
it was
bubble.
like new, fresh, and then like 2021, 2022, you got to see more people. It was like way more people. It was more saturated and you got to see like different sides of different communities show up. There's always drama every single day. There's like so many people were just like I don't know, like it just got really crazy. It kind of got like VR chat and all that. Like I don't know, VR chat's kind of died down in like popularity, so it's like now
Yeah.
a little more tamer. At least I think sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I guess, yeah, that's the pros and cons. Like, the pros is that you get to be yourself. You get to like both of them, the similarities, you get to be yourself, you get to have an avatar that you feel like yourself. But the negativity, of course, is that with both them being around so long, there's so much drama sometimes. You just with both them, you gotta look for the right places to be in and be the change that you want to make in the community. I see a lot of times like sometimes people fight fire with fire when sometimes you can just choose not to do that. But also some people just like to get clicks and likes. So I totally get it, you know? You do you.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It can be especially with Twitter, I think it can be very you can very easily get absorbed into all of the negativity, and I feel like at
Mhm.
least for me, I try my hardest to never engage with with all of that drama or negativity, and
Yeah.
instead just try and deflect like more positive outlooks on stuff. Yeah, because it can be very easy to get self kind of absorbed into these things. If you see so much of it, you're like you start seeing it affect your mood, and you're like, oh, here we go again. So I try to stay away from it as far as possible.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say I think the one thing VTubing has done to me, which like a negative thing was after a while I started to care too much. Like I would like never look at social media, but then I started looking at social media every day and I started comparing myself. Sometimes I would look at like all the negativity and it really affected my mood. So I had to like stop.
Yeah.
So now I feel like now I just only tweet when it's like I got to tweet something related to
Here's a
music
song
or like
coming
what's
out.
going on in my life. Yeah, and I don't tweet. And maybe during that time, I'll see my friends, it's like their birthdays, or I'll see like nice
Yeah,
artwork and I'll like comment. But I try not to be on there like every day, looking at it every couple hours, because I feel like it really does affect your mental.
yeah,
Even if you're really strong, I feel like over time, you keep doing that every day, it's gonna eventually get to you.
exactly. Yeah. So I'm outside of music, outside of, streaming, what what have you been up to recently? Have you been playing any games in your free time? Any games caught your attention?
Um, no, actually, believe it or not, I actually do not like to play video games that much. Um, I would I actually was always a casual like kind of gamer at times. So when I would stream video games, after I was done streaming, I'm like, I don't want to game. But I kind of I like watching shows. Like I like watching shows with my friends or movies, horror movies,
Oh,
or
yeah?
sleeping. I like sleeping a lot, or just laying down with my animals.
That's great.
I know. I
I
get tired easily.
I love that just sleeping as a hobby. It's great.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
can relate, I can relate. I actually watched, that new movie Dream Scenario, that Nicolas Cage movie.
Oh, how was
It
that?
was really interesting. It was weird. It was like basically the premise is like this college professor just starts appearing in like people's dreams like everywhere. And it's just yeah, it was interesting. I don't know. I can't say I loved it, but I thought it was an interesting movie.
You can
I'll
say
give
it's
it
bad, if you wanna say it's bad, you say it's
I don't
bad.
think it's a bad like I think I enjoyed it, but I was
You
like
think.
by the end of it I was like, "Oh, it's over? Is that it?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like I feel like it could have been like maybe 30 minutes shorter or something. Even though
Okay,
it
yeah,
was very short.
okay.
It was like an hour and a half, but no, it was good. I've always I've been trying to watch more shows and TV show and movies as well recently,
Mhm.
but um I'm always such a sucker for sitcoms. I don't know what it is, but sitcoms always seem to grab my attention the most. Um But yeah. You mentioned, um, are you into scary stuff? Horrors? Thrillers? What
Yeah, I
was
love
the
horror. A lot of
what was
people might not know, but yeah, I love
what
it.
was the scariest movie you've ever seen then? That's a good question.
That's a good question. I don't know what the scariest movie I've ever seen, but a good horror movie I watched was like, oh shoot, it was I have to let me search it up really quick. Um, because I don't it's not it's like a Korean horror movie.
Oh, okay.
Um, I think it was, oh yeah, it's like Ganjiam Haunted Asylum. I love that movie. I've watched it like
What?
3, 4 times. It's like found footage horror.
Oh,
I love
awesome.
found footage horror. It makes me so happy. I actually like horror TV series. Um,
Oh,
so
yeah?
like yeah, I think they're better because most horror movies, I feel like generally it's harder for them to have actually plot worth like watching. Because it's like ends up just being like jump scares or kind of boring.
Yeah, yeah. So
Um,
have you seen, Haunting of Hill House?
Yes, I love Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
love, Midnight Mass,
Yeah,
like, was it Midnight Club? Like, all those, I think that followed the Usher family. Oh, I love those
yeah.
so much, they're so good. Um, I
I
love
haven't
all of
seen all
them.
of them
They
yet. I think I got to like midway through Bly Manor, but I really really liked Hill House. It was super cool. But
um
yeah, I feel like my community gets mad at me
mhm.
because I love horror, like I do, but I don't. It doesn't affect me how it affects like just other VTubers or other people. Like I thoroughly enjoy them, but I don't usually get a reaction. Like I'm not like oh or jump scared, but
Well Yeah, I mean, I love horror. I definitely get those moments. I mean, I'm acting, so if like I play horror games and I like seem really scared and I don't want to progress for like 20 minutes and I'm on a pause screen, that's because I'm just acting, you know. But like, yeah, I mean, I love horror games. I'm just, yeah, I gotta act like I'm a big baby, but I'm not.
That's
Um,
that's good, that's good. Maybe I
yeah,
should play into it a bit more.
yeah, I actually got I got a scholarship for acting modeling, and so like
Oh, really? Wow.
yeah, when I was younger, so like it's actually true, like that when I'm screaming on stream, it's actually me acting. So
True,
told the
really
truth.
true.
Yeah.
Definitely not a genuine reaction at all.
Mhm.
No, that's good. That's good. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's always so interesting to see like just different like what different like what am I saying? Different like avenues that the like VTubers go down and um I've always been more the gaming centric, but I think this year I'm trying to move a little bit more towards the musical slash uh
Yeah.
just I don't know. I want to put more effort into the content that I provide. And I don't
I
know if
get what you're
that's
saying.
yeah. And this this
Um,
this
that's
like this bounty acquired is like I think a good step in that direction as well because I get to meet amazing people like yourself and hear about their journey and their what they're interested in and stuff like that. So it's awesome.
mhm. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm in the same kind of boat as you a little bit in a way. Um, 2021, I was pursuing, like I was basically a Genshin only streamer, and I was chasing it because at the time, like, even though I didn't want to admit it, analytically, it was very good for me, and I didn't like the idea of stopping because I felt like when I did, I would lose numbers. Then in 2023 came a time I was trying to be more than just a Genshin only streamer, and I started streaming a bunch of different variety of games because I was trying to look like basically, have a better portfolio for any
Sure.
companies or something that might want me if I was to audition for them as a
Mhm.
VTuber. Um, but then this year going forward, I was like, those last 2 years just wasn't me. That's not why I started streaming. I streamed to just be myself, have a chill place, play music, or just talk. And that's why I was like, you know what? This next year I'm gonna focus on music and my streams are just gonna be whatever I want. Like it's not gonna be like my streams has always been whatever I want, but I always felt like I had to play games to be entertaining. Like I thought if
Right.
I wasn't gaming, like or if I wasn't doing something, would people want to just listen to me ramble? And it's like, I don't know. So I was like, okay, I always felt like I need to play something, otherwise it would be like be like boring. So but then I realized like, well, I think just do what you want to do so you have no regrets, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. But yeah,
Mhm.
if you you guys in the chat, if you have any questions for Billy, um, let me know. And this can be anything. It doesn't have to be music related. It could be anything. One thing I one thing I wanted to bring up, how on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like poutine? Because it seems like a reoccurring thing in your community and your content where you've ordered quite a bit of poutine
Routine?
on a weekly basis and
Okay. Yeah, I love poutine, but currently I'm at like a 7 or 8 on poutine because I
okay,
haven't ordered
okay.
poutine in over a month. Um, I know because I've been
Scandalous.
trying to save money. I used to order poutine. There's a time period I would order poutine every single day, or then I would order a lot of poutine and I would film it on stream or go on stream and just like share my thoughts on it. I want to be a poutine tuber,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I think, oh, yeah. But, yeah, I just saw your chat. Yeah, now that you're in Canada, have you had a poutine yet?
So I've had 2 poutines while I was here. One of them, the first one I
Okay.
had was actually it was the day after I got here. We went to a place in the city. Of course, I won't name it. I don't want to dox me or anywhere. But it was in Toronto, but I won't name the place. Um, uh, the first one I had was so good. It was like it was amazing. Like it was pulled
Okay.
pork. It had like pulled pork.
Ooh.
The typical gravy, cheese curds. It was fries. It was like so good. Um, the the second time I had poutine was absolutely awful. It was like it was like fast food poutine though. Like it was different. Like
Yeah.
there's like an A&W nearby where we get like burgers and they're open like 24/7 and stuff like
Oh,
that.
no. The
And
A&W poutine is so
and
bad.
I because I like their burgers. I was like, "Oh, their burgers are
Yeah,
good."
yeah,
Like
the burger are
they're
not yeah.
tasty. And I was like, "Fine, I'll try the poutine." And
It's,
as soon as I saw it come out, like it was just there in the carton, and I was like, "This does not look good. This does not look good at
I would
all."
say fast food places, I'm trying to think.
Because McDonald's does
Uh,
poutine too, right?
yeah, but McDonald's is very, like, plasticky, it's kinda it's hit or if you get it right when it's yeah, no, and no, don't get it. I would say you could if you're feeling some, but it's gonna be like a
No.
disappointment. It's like maybe
Yeah,
a 5 out
yeah.
5 out of 10. But I'd actually say I actually had good experiences with Wendy's poutine.
Oh, okay.
Um, I think there's also I forgot if Carl's Jr. makes poutine, but they
Just
I'm trying to
don't
remember
get
because
it.
there's a place that has, it's like, waffle fries poutine. Oh, like, those are so good. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like, I think Wendy's is alright. Burger King, surprisingly, their poutine is very hit or miss, but some days it can be good.
Oh, wow.
Other times it's really
But,
not
like,
good.
all of those
Mm,
fast food places, they don't really put anything on top of it, right? Like, I feel like that's a big part of making poutine, like, really good. It's like toppings, right?
yeah, yeah, I would definitely say if you're looking for I mean, a good fast food place poutine would be probably New York fries. They make pretty,
Okay.
East they're I mean, they're all about their fries, so it's like, their poutine is actually not bad, but most times I actually order my poutine from just local areas because they usually
Sure.
make their home style fries with the poutine or with the gravy and the cheese curds, and they add whatever, like, toppings you end up getting, like, you get, like, a pulled pork or you get, like, let's say there's cheeseburger poutine where they have, like, bits and pieces of, like, hamburger and stuff, like, I don't know, you can get, like, so many different things, so I would say look for the local places
Yeah,
because they're
yeah,
gonna make
yeah.
the best proteins, but, I mean, yeah, or actually, surprisingly, if there's a Canadian I think there's, like, a place, it's called Canadian Brewery, I don't know if it's, like, all across, like,
Okay.
Canada, but, like, I would say, like, like, not beer, but places that are, like,
Yeah, like
club
breweries,
food
right,
places
yeah.
breweries, yeah, breweries. They make actually good food, I don't yeah, like, their poutines are good, so,
Yeah.
yeah,
That kind of
um
all this food talk reminds me, who is this? There's this food reviewer you really like. I wanna dive into this a bit. Who's
yeah,
who is this food reviewer that I've seen pop up a couple of times on your channel?
um he's my favorite VTuber. He's not a V his model is so good, like, it's like real life he looks like a real life human, um, his name is it's Just Food Reviews, and he's he l he rates his food when he eats it. If it is under a 7, he smashes it with a hammer and throws it all over his floor. And if it's good, he'll call them and say, "Hey, I rated your meal like X out of 10, and it was really delicious. Thank you." So,
And
yeah, he's I
sometimes he even goes back in to the to the restaurant
oh,
and
yeah,
says
true,
it.
yeah, sometimes he'll go back in the restaurant, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's not an actual hammer, it's like one of those I think it's like for food, like one of those food hammers he
Oh, like
has.
like a tenderizing hammer, like
Yeah, I think he
tenderizer,
uses
beef
one of those.
tenderizer.
But yeah, he smashes food, it gets, everywhere. goes all
Yeah.
over his apron. It's fun. And he actually seems genuinely upset, like, when he does it, and he's like, "Have a good day." And it's like, "My day is ruined after this. Bye."
It's so I remember watching it. You were probably I think you usually pop them up every time you're eating or sometimes when you're
Yeah.
eating. And I remember seeing him and I was like, this is this is crazy because like he's so in. He's so in on this. He's like so in like everything he does about the reviews, he's like 100% into. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. Does he have
The
sick editing and EDM music?
No,
No.
actually, I think I'm actually really surprised like, I hope he blows up more because, like, his content is just very, like it's very, I don't uncut, it's very raw. Like, it's just,
Right,
like,
yeah.
he just reviews it. He has upgraded his setup now. Sometimes he brings his camera and he presses the zoom button on the food to show you what it looks
No
like, and then he zooms
way.
out, and he calls it a zoom in adventure, and I love him, like, I don't know, like, it reminds me of a lot of old YouTube back in the
Yeah.
day, like, very raw, unedited, before everything became 5 minute or like 30-second stuff for our little brains to adapt.
Yeah, like, review of the week, right? Review bra was very, very
Mhm.
like, uncut, like, raw kind of, stuff like that. Yeah. It's interesting
Yeah.
the way YouTube's going with how, like, I guess, like, how the biggest YouTubers have to stick to a certain formula to, like, get any traction on their videos. I wonder if that
Yeah,
formula is gonna evolve anytime soon. It's very much like
maybe
the
it might end up going back to, like I mean, I don't know, it might even get faster. I'm not even sure.
I don't know if I can
Um,
keep up with faster. It's
but
like the Mr. Beast,
yeah.
like, method, I guess, would be the best way to describe it, where it's, you need to know the concept and the video title and the concept in the first, like, 10 seconds or 5 seconds of the video. It's like, "I got
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, I don't know, I wish I understood more about the algorithm video stuff. It definitely would make things easier when, trying to promote music for sure. But, I I don't know, I believe it or not, I actually have a hard time with, watching a lot of, content creators, like VTubers especially, 'cause,
Yeah.
most times the VTubers I watch, will watch their stream. So usually, like, I mean, it's funny because I feel like YouTube channels are just all about like the highlights, right? It's just highlight, highlight, highlight
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
like super crazy editing. And when I see like the edits versus what I saw on stream, I'm like, holy moly! It makes my like it's good editing, but now, like, I guess with what people like nowadays, it really hurts my brain because there's, like, a million things going on nowadays. You get, like, all these pop-ups, like, explosions, like, zoom in, zoom outs,
Sound
like, instantly,
effects.
like, different color sound effects. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Holy moly, I don't know what's going on," but, it's like, I guess that's what people want these days. I think
Yeah.
yeah, so it's understandable. I
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
this hurts my brain.
yeah.
I'm old man.
Do you think
Maybe
there's
that's it.
any way you could, experiment with new formats in terms of, like, music videos? Have you ever thought of, like that, where it's like, "Oh, do I need to stick to the tried and true, like, lyric video, or is there something I could be experimental with when it comes to releasing music?"
I think you definitely could do I mean, I think short styles do very well where you just like I think that's honestly kinda going forward the way of musicians, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because I don't like the idea of just having to do like 20 seconds and then that's all you're
Yeah.
showing, or because I mean statistically shorter videos then do tend to do better than like longer. Like people just want to hear like a chorus of a song nowadays. Some people I mean there are people who want to listen to a full song or like first verse chorus, but generally it's like you play the hook of your song and then you end it there. So, and that's just short. So you can have crazy editing sometimes or like really flashy stuff. I mean, it seems that's what like people do. They'll like have their model on the screen with like Shoost video filter have lyrics appear, maybe have some zoom ins every now and then, zoom out,
Yeah. Yeah.
and there you go. Have different colors flashing. And for VTubers, I feel like either it's that or you have music videos
Yeah.
or yeah, music videos, whether it's like artwork or maybe you sometimes see them using their 3D model in like different like areas, like I
Mm.
actually really love. I'd recommend VR chat musicians. They do really cool like cinematography with
Oh,
their
I
like
could imagine,
music
yeah.
videos. Yeah.
There because they have a lot
Um.
of freedom in what they do because, like, their canvas is, like, the entire VRC world, right? So they could be like, "Oh,
Yep.
I need a train setting. Let me just go to this train station and, like, record a bit of this music video, and then, like, go to this
Mhm.
world and record, like, me laying in a bed or something." I think that's really, really smart and
Yeah,
really interesting.
and now you can control your camera manually. Like there's buttons where you can like make your camera fly around and like take
Oh, interesting.
pictures, videos. So it's like it makes it even easier now to like you have like a little drone camera in VR chat. So it's like or so it's really cool.
Yeah. It definitely gets
But
me excited to kind of dive into VR chat a bit more. Just to well, that is something I
yeah.
want to ask. Have you ever considered getting a 3D model like for VTubing, or is that like something
Yeah,
more easily bridge the gap between your kind of love for VRC and VTubing?
yeah, I
Or
think if I definitely had a model, I would definitely love that. I've always wanted to. It's just the price.
of
Right
course,
now, every time I think of getting a model, I think of that
how,
money could be used on
how
music,
many
on
songs? Yeah,
album. Yeah, like because right now it's like I pretty much have done so much I've wanted to do as a VTuber that I'm like pretty much happy with everything I've done as a VTuber. I'm just kind of like the only thing left is a 3D model piranha. But after that, I've got to debut. I've got to like do charity stuff already as a VTuber. Like I've got to do all this kind of stuff that it's like, but I haven't done much for my music. Like it.
yeah.
So it's like
It's time for
I wanna
that
do
to
music.
take the front seat.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, maybe if I make random lot of like a lot of money randomly.
So what's the I mean, if you can answer, what's the kind of release schedule for things? Do you have a lot of this year planned out for music, or do you have like just a certain amount of it that you can or can't say? Like
Um,
what can people expect?
um, on the 12th of this month, I have a song. And the 26th. So I think about every 2 weeks, I've been trying to release a new song.
Wow.
But I think after the 14th of February, I might slow down and just start releasing either one song a month until my album's ready, which I'm hoping will be ready by April to July. And
Nice. Yeah.
yeah, the album's gonna have 11 songs, guys, original songs. So I'm really hyped.
11. And these
Yeah,
are the fully mixed, like fully mastered
fully
ones?
produced.
Yeah, fully
Yeah.
produced.
So
That's so exciting. Oh my goodness. 11 songs.
yeah. So
Do you
songs like "Strangers" is gonna. That's what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be all like stuff like that.
do you have a personal favorite? Or is that something that you're not allowed as an artist?
Uh, in the album that I worked on,
Yeah.
or just in general.
Let's say the album.
Um, yeah, I think my favorite song personally was probably the song coming out on Valentine's Day. And you guys will get if you guys follow my stuff, you guys will get to hear it because it's my first song I ever wrote. It's a different genre, but Kuzi, you know what song that's gonna
I
be.
do,
I
I
gotta show
do.
you a little bit.
I'm
Um,
excited.
it's
I'm very excited.
it's I'm really excited to show it because it's the first time I've ever wrote a song in like in a genre so different than what I normally write that I'm hoping that people will be like, "Whoa, this is a lot different than what he normally plays." So excited.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's
So,
good.
yeah, but my favorite song that I've ever written probably is my song "Ghost." I think, that song I just love playing the guitar for it, and the meaning behind the song is, about feeling like you don't fit in, and even when you're surrounded by so many people, you still feel invisible to the world. I think it's a feeling that a lot of people can relate with.
Mm.
Sometimes feeling like they don't belong anywhere, and I think that song, yeah, it's my favorite song because I think it was described perfectly how I felt at times. Because being a content creator, sometimes you might think they wouldn't feel lonely because they're surrounded by so much people, but often sometimes the opposite because you're surrounded by so much people, you don't really feel like a closeness. You might feel like sometimes you're always, especially when you're always live, you're just like I love my community. But there are days where after I would turn off my stream, I'd be like, "Oh, I've been talking to a screen all day." Yeah, you know.
Almost existential, just being like, "Oh no, it's dark out. I've just been
Yep. Like I've
just been
been here all
staring
day,
at."
and then you don't have the energy to socialize with anyone, so you
No.
just talked all on stream, yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that sometimes. Um, yeah, it's interesting because it's always like perspective is a big thing of it, right? Because you could also
Mhm.
be like, "Oh, it's been so," and like I had a great stream and I spent so much time talking to amazing people. So it's hard to balance that perspective and be like, I feel of course it depends on your kind of mood that day or just all
Yeah,
of that stuff.
exactly. Cause like, during the times I was streaming, I felt like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy, spending time with this community that has is so positive." Then once I end the stream, it was like, "Oh, I'm just in this room, all
Yeah.
by myself." It's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
But I think one of the things is that now that I'm streaming less, I get to experience something else now, which is I feel weird not streaming as often, like waking up and streaming, or now it's like I'm doing music, and now I think like um now I'm like I miss my community. Now I'm like more like, oh, I want to spend time with them, but I also want to like get work done. So now I'm like I gotta work really hard so then I can reward myself by streaming.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Do you do anything? This is a kind of question because I guess we're talking right now about streamer mentality and mental health. Is there anything that you like to do that kind of gets you away from the kind of burning out or just like unwinding after streaming for a long time? And, like, is there anything you like doing that kind of fits that? Like,
Um,
whether it's nature or reading or sleeping.
yeah, I mean, I guess like for me watching like shows, like whether it's with my friend, helps me a lot because I just like I gotta focus on something else instead
Yeah.
of work. But for me, I've always been the kind of person that I love thinking about my quote unquote work because when I'm not thinking about like I'm one of those people that I feel the most fulfilled when I'm thinking about it. Like I'm like I want to think about it and I don't want to burn out because I feel like if I take too long away from it, I'm gonna like lose that discipline. So I wanna constantly think about it because the second I feel like I take a little bit of a break, I'm not gonna be able to remember how to like go back into that workflow.
Mm, I get that. Yeah. It's it is like kind of hard to to ease back into it once you do take a break, right? Like I recently moved. I had a pretty big move from the UK to Canada, and it's like it took roughly a month to get like a month off to get everything set up and sorted. And like that first week back, I was completely out of it. I was like, how do I do this again? Like how do I make conversation? Like why are the acoustics in this room different? It makes me sound weird. that kind of thing. So it is yeah, it definitely is kind of hard to take that break. But yeah, we love scuff.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. They love the scuff. I don't know about that.
Yeah, Scuff is Scuff, are you a streamer? If it's not Scuff, like that's what I was
I
saying.
feel like
Like,
it's part of the DNA, right? If there's no scuff in
mhm.
your stream, then something's wrong.
Yeah,
Something's wrong.
exactly.
Oh man. Um, but yeah, I mean, is there anything else on your mind that you do you have any questions for me? That's always a fun question to ask.
Um, I mean, let's see. I mean, I guess like how is it now being in Canada? Is there any like what are the biggest differences
Oh, that's good.
for you?
That's really good. You guys have way too much water in your toilets.
What?
There's like way too
Really?
much. Yeah, yeah. There's way too much. You don't need that much. It's like, don't question mark me. Don't question mark
What
me.
does that mean?
It's like way so like I guess in the UK, like the water in the
Uh-huh.
toilet is like way lower than here. So
Oh, okay. That caught me
I
off guard, I won't
I
lie.
thought I thought I'd mention that. I thought I'd mention that. What else? What else? Let me see. Let me see. So I mean, I've always lived like either around cities or in cities. But I really like living in a city. I do. I think it's nice that everything is, at arm's length. If I want to like if I need to get anything, I can just, hop on the subway and be like, "Okay, let me just go 5 minutes and I can find what I need." I still haven't really experienced Canadian winter. I think it's starting to ramp up now. Towards the end of January, it's gonna get colder. But
Um,
it has been pretty cold. It has been pretty cold. Um, I think the biggest thing, I think groceries are incredibly expensive here. And I don't know if
uh,
it's the just because of the Canadian dollar or
I
because
think
of
it's
my
because of the
local
Canadian dollar.
supermarket, but like
Oh, actually, yeah, maybe that. Hmm.
I remember my first shop like here, like my first grocery shop here that I was like, okay, let me just get stuff for a few weeks. I was like, and then I got handed the receipt and I'm like, I'm like, what is that number? That should not be. How much are eggs where we are? I wonder. Let me check. Let me check. Let's do a nice little Google on eggs. Do you know your local eggs price, Billy? How much you buying
Um,
eggs for?
I think where I live, I think where you live, it might actually be expensive, honestly. Um, but let me take a look. Um, for a price of 12 eggs, it's like $5.50.
Yeah, 5.50, huh? Similar. $5.50 for 12 eggs. That would be in the UK. Of course, like, currency currency conversion and stuff. But like in the UK, you're paying like 189, like 2 pounds, like 2 GBP, which again is around like 3.50 or $4. But yeah, 5.60 for some eggs. So I remember like getting like I don't know, just getting essentials for like a few weeks and having to spend like way more than I thought I would. Um, but
Mhm.
yeah, that is I think they're the main things that I've noticed. I think people are very friendly here as well, wherever you go. I think, in if
Mhm.
you're out shopping or if you're out at a restaurant or stuff, I think the general tone of the um population is way friendlier. Not to say that people in the UK are not friendly, but I I I feel like people here go out of the way to be friendly. Like
Yeah,
And
no, I mean, I think so too. I mean, I remember, like, Canadian airport, I take a long sometimes I'm, like, struggling, I'm, like, taking my sweet time, and, people will be like, "Oh, do you need help with that?" Like, or like, "Oh, I can help you," or, like, it's like and then, when I remember, like, I went to America and I was like, same thing, and people were, like, yelling at me, they're getting mad, they're like, "What are you doing?" Like, "You're wasting my time."
hurry up, move along.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. But I don't know, maybe Americans are just rude. I don't know. So
Reese says, since we're talking food, how spicy can you go? Like, what is your spice level?
I love
Or
spicy food.
a follow up question to that: have you ever done any spicy challenges?
Yeah, those, like, fire noodles with the chicken that, like,
Yeah,
breathes fire?
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
love those. I
I
love those. I just, like,
love.
eat those.
Oh my goodness, I ordered those for stream because I was like, it was I think it was one of my first. I think the first time I did like a donathon or something, it was one of my like incentives was like that. So I ordered some and I did it for stream, and then like the following week, all I would eat would be like those spicy noodles, and I'm like, these are so good. And it's like you'd eat them
Yeah.
like intentionally. You would intentionally eat them instead of like just not eating them as a challenge. I'm like, well, they taste really good, and then after that week, I had to like cut back because I was like, okay, I feel like it's messing up my stomach if I'm eating them so
Yeah, no,
frequently.
I mean, I won't lie, I was definitely struggling fighting some battles in the bathroom with some demons, so I had to cut
Uh,
back.
so I also had to do the one chip challenge, and I actually don't think I'd ever do it again. I don't think so. Uh, the one chip was absolutely awful. Like it did not it was not good. I ate it on stream and I was like, okay, this is good. Like it's very spicy, but I'll get over it. And then for the next like 6 hours, my stomach was completely messed up. I thought I was gonna die.
Oh,
I was like curled up. I was like, no, like please just let me sleep. I like didn't get to sleep until like because I finished stream at like midnight, and I was like, oh, I don't
oh
feel great,
god.
and I kept waking up, and I didn't get to sleep until like 6 a.m. I was like, this is absolutely awful.
Did you make sure to eat anything else before you
No,
had the chip?
no.
Oh, okay. That
I,
might be
I
it
I
then if
didn't
you
line my stomach. I didn't eat any bread or anything like that. It was just, yeah, it was bad. And
yeah.
it tasted awful as well. It tasted really bad. Um, so the next thing we're doing, I actually still have to get them, but the 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 hot one sauces. Um, uh, we will be doing that very soon, because Fane was very kind to provide for that. But yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is get like a 20 pack of nuggets from McDonald's, and then just uh do hot ones. I don't know if I don't know if I'll do any questions or anything, because it's just gonna be me doing them. But yeah, I'm excited for the hot ones challenge. It's gonna be fun.
That'll
Oh,
be fun.
they're
I'm
mentioning
excited.
I did Pilk as well. Have you ever tried Pilk, Billy?
What was that?
It is Pepsi and milk.
What does it taste like, a float?
Um, maybe. So I actually don't like the consist. I maybe so I need to actually probably do try another one. But to my knowledge, I do not like the consistencies of like floats. I don't know what it is. Maybe I
Uh-huh.
did it wrong, because the only time I've had a float is when I've made it, and I was like, did I do something wrong here, or do I genuinely just don't like floats? But yeah, no, Pilk wasn't too bad. It honestly wasn't as bad as people said it was, because there was a thing where like a bunch of a bunch of VTubers were just drinking milk. And it was like this whole thing. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm,
I don't
maybe.
know.
Try it out. Try everything at least once, you know?
Try everything at least once. Yeah. My goodness. Um, what else? We haven't mentioned we're oh my god, we're an hour in. We haven't mentioned anime.
Oh, yeah.
You're an anime enjoyer, aren't you?
Yeah, I love I watch a lot of anime. I'm kind of a weeb.
I'm still trying to uh, get my way back into it, but one I have heard you mention a lot is One Piece.
I love
And
One Piece. I've rewatched episode up to like 700 like 3 times. I'm actually not caught up, so I'm kind of fake One Piece fan because I'm like 10 or
what?
12 episodes behind.
Oh,
I
only
know.
10 or 12. Only
Um,
10 or 12. Okay.
I yeah, I love One Piece, like Hunter x Hunter, from Octopus Brotherhood, Gintama, Made in Abyss, Fruits Basket. I can just like go on like type like
You're just
I like my
firing them
love
off.
story.
You had them
Yeah,
ready, huh? There was
yeah, I
yeah,
mean I
there's
love them a
some
lot.
there that I mean, Gintama is one that I definitely wanna get into because it's a comedy show. So I
The
definitely
first 30 episodes are like character introductions, and they're still kind of funny, but after that, it gets like super hilarious.
Okay,
So
okay. As someone who is so big into One Piece, how do you invite or how do you convert people into starting to watch it? Because it is such a big undertaking, right?
I force him into a Discord VC with me and screen share the first couple episodes, and just keep watching until eventually they watch on their own. You know, I've rewatched the first couple episodes so many times. But
Oh my
honestly, I would say if
goodness.
people aren't into anime, you could always try with the live action. I thought the One Piece live action did a pretty good job.
Oh yeah, people like a lot of like even people who haven't watched anime, like I heard that show did very well in terms of like Netflix like
Um,
numbers.
yeah. Also, like the reason I like to watch One Piece, like why I started was I used to get really sad watching 24 episode animes because they would just finish and they would just like
That
get me
was it.
invested and just
That was
it'd
it.
be done. It was over. And I was like, well, now what do I do? But with One Piece, it like because it's so long, it feels like it never leaves you. Like it's always got your back. It's loyal, committed. You're gonna show loyalty, commitment. If in life, people they'll know you're loyal because you watch One Piece. They're like, oh, this person, he doesn't have time. They don't have time. Like I always tell people, if you're dating someone, just tell them you watch One Piece because you have no time for other people. They'll know you never cheat because you're watching One Piece. You're committed. So, you might even not have time for them after you're done with One Piece, so
Loyal. Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's always been something that's intrigued me because people like they don't throw around lightly when they say it's like one of the best pieces of fantasy media to ever exist. And it's like
Yeah,
when people say that, I'm like, okay, I believe that. Like if you're saying this is the top,
I
it
mean,
definitely seems like something I
yeah,
wanna.
because you have to think about how much of the manga sells, and there's other anime that are just as long as One Piece, like, Detective Conan is still
Oh
going
yeah.
on, but its manga doesn't even sell as much as One Piece, and, so people can't just be like, "Oh, people just buy it because it's been around for a long time," because Detective Conan's been going on that long, same and even Pokemon, right? Like,
Yeah,
um,
Pokemon's over
so,
1,000
like
episodes now, right?
yeah, and, with One Piece, I will say there's definitely moments it, like, drags on, the anime catches up. Source material, it gets really slow,
Right.
but,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'd say, like, reading the manga is pretty good, watching the anime is definitely good too, but, yeah, I mean, One Piece, the reason why I like it so much is because um it feels like you're not just watching a show where you get, like, mm when you watch, like, a lot of anime, sometimes you get, like, the main characters will have, like, inner monologues, and you always get to hear what they think, and there's,
Yeah.
like, you know but the reason I love One Piece is because Luffy doesn't actually have monologues, like, the author drew him he's someone who he's always action first before he speaks, or action before he, like, thinks. So I love that part of him because it feels like we're watching a character on his own, like, he's doing his own thing, like, we don't know what he's gonna do, it's, like, random, right? Because
Yeah,
they don't give us his thought process, and the characters grow a lot off screen, if that makes sense, like,
sure.
sometimes they'll get stronger, and we don't get to see it, they didn't sometimes I mean, there's no training arcs, sometimes they just randomly level up, and it feels more normal that way because it feels like maybe they leveled up because they actually, after fighting, they realize like, "Hey, I gotta make some new techniques," and instead, a lot of animes, what they'll do, they'll fight, they'll beat a villain, and the new villain comes and they get their butt kicked, and they didn't learn anything from it, and they have to go through, like, 50 episodes of training, while usually in One Piece, like, if they get their butt kicked, they'll just figure out what they need to do on their own, you know what I mean? They won't show, like, no, sometimes, like, I feel like recently they've had some training arcs, but usually in the past, it was just kinda like, just do his own thing.
Hmm. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, it
And time out
I
forever.
I don't know if it's something I would like to see myself watching it or reading it eventually, but
So
it's
what are
so
you
long.
into? Like, what shows
I
are you
mean,
into?
I really watch anything. I mean, what was the most recent stuff I've been watching? I actually watched that, I'm not finished it, I'm almost finished it, but that 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 vending machine anime about the vending
Yeah, I watched
machine
that
in
with
the
Majin.
fantasy world. Yeah,
Yeah, it's so
I like
goofy.
that one. That was really funny. Zom 100
You
is
like
something I also started that I didn't finish.
Oh,
Not
okay.
that I don't like them. I do. I think these two animes are the ones I'm gonna finish before moving on to something else. But yeah, I really enjoyed Psalm 100. I don't even think it's finished airing yet because of delays and stuff.
It actually did finish because I just finished that recently.
Oh
They
really?
finished,
Awesome.
episode 9,
Okay.
10, 11, 12, recently, so
Great. Yeah. I really enjoyed that one. That was really cool. I like the main character of that one.
yeah, but
One show that
mhm.
I really enjoyed recently was Mashal. I don't know if you've seen Mashal.
Yeah, that one's good. I like Mashle too. It's
You've seen
pretty funny.
everything.
I I haven't seen everything. I just seen some things.
Yeah, Mashal was really fun.
Um, but yeah, I mean, if you like, I'm trying to think if if you like well, not isekai. I mean, maybe isekai. I'm trying to think what isekais are good though. Did it's hard because sometimes I feel like a lot of isekai anime are
Very
very
generic.
very fan servicey.
Yeah, yeah.
So well, I definitely say if you haven't watched Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, it's 64 episodes, but it's probably one of the most goated anime of all time. So
Yeah, I
probably
think I only watched half of it actually, like ages ago.
oh,
But yeah, I should probably finish it. I should probably I mean restart it. But
yeah. Um, Hunter x Hunter is really good, but that one's long. Short. I'm trying to think of short anime. Um, I watched this mech anime. It was called 86, I think, and that was pretty good. I liked
Oh,
that.
okay.
I think it had 2 seasons, but I liked it. I like Gundam franchise as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of I don't know if you like mechs or a lot of politics sometimes, but that's what Gundam is. Um,
Yeah, like I said,
yeah,
I'm
uh,
down to watch anything. I'd always give something a try. Um,
yeah.
before try yeah, before writing it off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Uh, oh yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people like uh Jujutsu Kaisen. I think that's a really popular one. I think as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen, I haven't tried yet. I haven't tried. Oh my god, yeah, hi. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in raiders. Welcome, welcome. Hello. Hi. Thank you so much.
Oh man,
We are just talking
but
to the wonderful, wonderful Billy, aka One Little Piranha, on my talk show. We've had some good discussions today so far. You know,
Yeah, now we're just talking about anime. Now, I mean, I'm like, okay, you gotta watch it. What's
and
this?
now we're just talking about anime.
Yeah, I'm being a little goofy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a yeah, there's a lot. I mean, Japan. Like, have you been to Japan? Do you want to go to Japan? Is that something you? I've been obsessed. I haven't been,
I
but I do want to go.
I would like to go, because I wanna try so much different foods there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
You're
I
like
think
me.
it
You're
would
like
be
me.
really
I feel like I a lot of time when I travel, I the thing I remember the most is what I've eaten there or the food I experienced there. I really I think I'm a food traveler at heart.
yeah, I don't know, I think Japan would be really cool, like, I mean, when I was a lot younger, I was like, "I wanna go there because, like, anime is made there," and I'm like a weeb, but now I'm older, I'm just like, I just wanna go to try the sushi and, like, eat all different kind of foods there, like, it looks like a place that would have really good food. I also
Yeah.
like their I would just like to experience what life would be like there for a little bit because, the transportation's, like, really good. They're, like, just, like I don't know, they're, also, I wanna go to their, what is it? The convenience stores. They have so much. It
Oh
looks
my
so much fun.
oh my god.
Yeah.
So there was there was a period of time sometime last year where my TikTok feed was entirely, I mean entirely Japanese 7-Eleven videos. And the reason why is because I kept seeing them and I kept liking them. And then my TikTok was like, "All right, just give him more." And it was like a solid week where my feed was just like like Japanese and Korean 7-Eleven. I was like, "I need this. I need to experience this."
And then you get the 7-Eleven at home, and you're like, "Oh." "How was that
Yeah.
7-Eleven?"
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm always watching like YouTube channels that are like centered around like Japanese street food or Japanese culture or like vloggers or that stuff. So like just like seeing those experiences and being like, oh, I want to go there sometime. Like it's making me hungry right now thinking about thinking about what Japanese food we could eat. Um, Getting eggs in Japan was difficult. Oh, really? I've always wanted to try their omurice. Tasty. Yeah. It seems like such a beautiful country, I think, so
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only way to know is to go, right? So
That's true, that is true. No truer things have been said.
yeah, I'm trying to think, like, any was there any questions I wanna ask you aside from what's, different aside from the water in the toilet? Hmm.
No, that's not the highlight of that answer.
I mean, it's a highlight for me. I didn't even know.
Oh my goodness.
I still find that so funny. That caught me off guard when you
Listen,
said that.
it's just something that I needed to mention because no one else is gonna understand it.
Except people who live in the UK, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if it's saying I think one of my mods I think my mod was saying it was the same in the States as well. They have they
Oh,
have that so maybe it's a North American thing.
interesting. That's interesting. All right, time for me to travel. Maybe that could be a thing. You travel across the world and see the toilet water
That's a new
levels.
that's a new YouTube channel.
Yeah. What is going on, guys? Today, I'm in Europe. I'm gonna be testing see how the water levels are in the toilets. Let's see. I'll come back to you in just a minute. Unless you guys want a play by play of my washroom experience.
No, it's not no water. It's just way less water. Like I feel like I'm gonna fall into the water here.
I don't think our the water is that high in
No, no, no.
Oh,
Toilet
that's
and water
funny.
ventures. Hi, Scar. What's up? Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm an
Um,
open book. You can ask me. You can ask me anything.
that's, oh, so what's been a song that's been on your mind recently?
Mm. Hmm. The cop out answer would be if I'm gone, but that's just because I've been listening to it. Which is a One
Thank
Little
you.
Piranha original. I really like what has been on my mind. Let me think. Let me think. Um, mm, I don't know. What else have I been catching myself like singing just in my free time? It's usually some pop, some version of a pop song. Um,
Mm,
like let me see. Mm, 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 mm. Usually, if I just type music into YouTube, they will they will have like my most listened to stuff. Um, oh, there's actually yeah, there is one. There's I never played it, but Honkai Impact, Honkai Impact Third. Um,
mhm.
they have a song called Graduation Trip, and it's so good. I wonder,
I don't think I ever heard it before.
I do have browser here. I mean, I can play it, but it's not something you'd be able to hear. I don't think. Let me this song here. It's like it's a very soft song, but it's very cool. And I think it's something that stuck in my head. Maybe it's because I'm like, oh, could I cover that? Is there a way I can cover that? Like some songs
Yeah.
just to the point I like them so much that I'm like, oh, I could totally like make a cover of that.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I love when you post your, songs, like, on Twitter. It's always
Ah,
nice to hear.
thank you, thank you.
I think I always see you doing, like, Disney songs, so that's always fun.
Yeah, I'm big into I love Disney. I love musicals. So um like Disney's always one that um I'm like, "Oh, I can just do this." Like it's an easy fallback for me. If I can't think of anything, I'll just be like, "Okay, let's open the big book of Disney and, and see which one I want to sing
Do you
here."
Yeah, do
Um
you have a favorite one recently that you've done? Like, sing?
I really liked the Lion King one, the Can You Feel It Love Tonight one that I did.
Can you feel Yeah, that got stuck in my head after I was like, "Can you feel
I
love
liked it.
tonight?" That's
No,
it.
but I think it's nice to post them, especially now. Like if you post the older stuff from like Aladdin or Lion King or Tarzan or Beauty and the Beast. I feel like it plays a lot on people's like nostalgia, and it gives them like an extra layer of enjoyment. Being like, oh, I haven't heard this song in like years, and now it's like on my TikTok. Like what? Like
Mhm.
it gives them like a warm sense of nostalgia, I think, which is really nice. Like I always when I'm choosing a song, I'd be like, oh my god, like I forgot this song existed. Like this random song
Yeah.
from like Toy Story or something. Like I'd just be like, oh okay, let me let me do that one. And yeah, it's always nice to see people being like, "Oh, I used to listen to this song when I was younger." I'm like, "Okay. I'm glad you enjoyed." But yeah, I've always
Yeah.
been a Disney guy. I have not been to
Actually, I
Disney
haven't.
World though.
Oh, me either. I haven't watched a lot of Disney movies either, honestly.
Uh,
Sad, I know.
No.
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of Disney, man. Sorry,
Gotta get
but
on
I
that.
should one day.
Listen, I'll watch uh 6 episodes of One Piece for every Disney movie you watch.
All right, you're gonna talk to the guy who rewatched One Piece that many times. I'm gonna I'm gonna watch like 5 movies instantly. And you'd be like, all right, well, have fun.
There's yeah. There's 40 episodes of One Piece I have to watch. Great.
Yeah.
Disney World trip. I think I did a stream where it just did a Google Maps walkthrough of Disney. Oh no, it wasn't a Google Maps. It was a YouTube video of this guy just walking through Disney World or Disneyland.
Mhm.
Um and that felt nice. So maybe we eventually do a Disney trip.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It would be awesome. I think, especially with since you do sing Disney songs, if you're actually in Disney, like Disney World, imagine yeah, like that'd be cool. Dress up as a VTuber.
I'll do cosplay of my VTuber and then just go to Disney. That'd be exciting. Is there
Uh,
enough Disney movies for that? I'm sure there is. I'm sure.
yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if 6 episodes per movie, I think it would hit pretty fast. Honestly, there's a lot of Disney movies, right? How many? How many? Let's see. How many Disney movies are there?
Gotta
Four
be over
hundred
on.
ninety-four
Yeah,
Disney movies.
there you go.
So
Times
so
6.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, 494 times 6 is definitely over it. Yeah, that's 2,900
I
episodes,
had to
and
watch it
there's not that many of
twice.
One Piece. Uh, that- Yeah, you have to rewatch it. You have to rewatch it.
I
Yeah.
have to watch it twice. Uh, yeah. No, but we should. Yeah, we should definitely. I don't know what's happening with my VR, but I cannot get it working. I need to figure that out. I'll have to like troubleshoot or something. But we should definitely do some more VR chat stuff. I'd love
Yeah.
to experience some more cool worlds, cool experiences
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, me too. I haven't been going I have been going on a little more, but I haven't been really exploring new worlds, so I should do that.
Yeah, like it takes me back because when I was doing the like some community meetups in VR chat, we'd go to some like really random places. Like I remember we went to this theme park that was entirely in Japanese, and
Mhm.
there were like there was a jet there was like a jet engine roller coaster or something that like in VR it was so nauseating because it went so
Oh,
fast. And I
no,
was
I
like,
totally get
"No."
that.
But but then I also like you what you do is you would pick you would pick a very chill and cozy kind of like hotel or like apartment complex or like Sky
Mhm.
Garden or something, and it
Yeah.
always felt nice to like join in and just like hear people like, oh, there's like 5 people upstairs. Let me go talk to them. And everyone's just hanging out. It's like so nice.
Yeah, I definitely do love that about VR chat, how it's like open space. If you have big enough where people can go do their own thing and it's not too overwhelming for you. Plus earmuff mode exists, so you don't have to worry about hearing everyone all talk at once. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned before to me at least, but like how often would you like perform your stuff in VR chat? Like, is that something you do with your community, or would you seek out other people to kind of try and convert them into your community by with your music?
mm, I would like to perform more in VR chat. I think as I get a more active VR chat community, I'd probably do like maybe once a week, like VRC performance. I mean, see, it's even something I could stream, right? Like just turn off everyone's avatars, earmuff mode. I play music, and then don't have to worry about if people are too weird or something in front of my face. But usually it's pretty good because if you have as like a group instance, it's only people in your group. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I love getting to perform. I would love to perform more in VR chat because I think yeah, it's a fun place to be and perform. Normally when I perform, I actually recently um I basically just perform like I'll get my soundboard and I'll just play the song,
Yeah.
kind of like how I showed you on Discord, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll just lip sync. In the future, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm probably gonna be lip syncing until I have a better way to perform my music with my backtrack. But that way it lets me like walk around on stage and get to interact with the audience while my voice going on, so it'll feel more like a live performance
Yeah,
kind of thing. Or like watch it. Well, not it won't be live because my vocals won't be like live, but it's like I get to walk around on the stage and like all that kind of stuff.
exactly. Yeah, no, that makes sense, it makes sense. What was the do you have, like, what was the most interesting VR world you've ever been to in VR chat? Like, is there a world that you're like, "This is so unique that I need to, like, save it," or, like, I need to come back here"?
Mm, I think I always go to the deep blue world. It's not like it's crazy unique. It's just it's a nice. What's I love the ocean theme. You can go underneath the world, and it's like they have aquatic life. Like there's like sharks, like jellyfish, like a lot of fish. You can go on ride a turtle to like do a 20-minute ride around the world.
Oh my god. 20 minutes?
Yeah, kinda long. I just sit there.
It's just you're like after 5 minutes, you're like, "Okay, how do I get off?"
Yeah, I mean, you can just jump off anytime
Yeah,
the
yeah.
turtle, but
That's cool.
I love it.
One of the worlds I actually set as my home world is this, like it was this, futuristic it's like a futuristic log cabin. It looked like a space log cabin, and there's, like, rain outside the window, and
Um,
it was just so cozy. I could imagine just, like, waking up in VR.
yeah.
And been yeah, it's it's cool, but there's also kind of crazy places, like, you took me to a you took me to a Genshin world with, like, a bunch of, like, Genshin avatars. That was really funny. Um,
Yeah, there's so much in VR chat. It's like it's a wild place, man.
the 7-Ele have you been to the 7-Eleven world?
I don't
That
care
one's really
how.
fun. That one's really fun. It's just a 7-Eleven store where you can pick up items on the shelves and, like, stand behind the register, and that one was really cool. That one's really fun.
Uh, yeah, maybe I'll have to check out the 7-Eleven since, maybe it'll be better than the 7-Eleven I have at home.
They really are sad here, aren't they?
Yeah,
Like, you just
man.
look at one and you're like, "Oh."
You're like, oh, you can
Like,
get all this food at the 7-Eleven, like, and it's like not super expensive there.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like 7-Eleven where I live, I remember one time I went to, like, see what was there, and it was, like, so overpriced. I was like, "Ah, I'm good."
I do like their, Slurpees, though. They're good.
Oh, yeah.
I've had
Slurpees
them.
are, like, I feel like the most affordable thing there.
I've never 'cause we didn't ha we had, like, slush, like, something similar in the UK, but, like, the size of the Slurpees are massive. Like, the big gulp thing, oh my goodness. Just,
Yeah.
like and they
They're
have
they're
such
they're, like,
interesting
kinda cheap
flavors as
too, so
well. Yeah.
yeah.
They have interesting flavors, and it's like, I can see myself getting them, but I did try a 7-Eleven food once, and I was like, "Yeah, this isn't great." Like,
It's not
they had,
great, and
like
it's a little expensive, so
yeah, yeah. Big gulp is horrifying.
yeah, it's really big, honestly. Big
Did
gulp.
you know they had? I found out last week they have a super big gulp.
What the
What's next? What's next? Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's crazy. But,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
I mean, it's, is there, I'm trying to think. I know earlier you were mentioning you were asking me about, like, song process, like the
Yeah.
writing. Um, yeah, I mean, like, if you get I would say it's a lot easier for me sometimes because I have an instrument, but I would say like what I was doing earlier, guys, for anyone who is curious about songwriting, just you can just do everything like all a cappella and honestly just layer your like record over top of yourself and then you can eventually send that to someone like to make the instrument for you and that's also a good way too. I didn't explain that, but yeah. Like, when I do those do's, it really does help, like, like, a producer will understand what you're trying to convey if you do your do's properly.
Make sure your do's are clear and concise.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Um, is there by the way, do you have is there any song of mine that you were, like, that you are hoping will eventually, like, I can record? Is there anything?
I really like Compass. I Compass was the first song of yours that really stuck in my head, and I was like, okay, I know I keep asking him to play it, but can he just play it again? So hearing that one
Yeah.
like get like the producer treatment would be really interesting. Um,
Yeah,
of course,
that'd be a lot of fun.
I feel like the one that gets requested the most in your chat is definitely like Robot. I feel like everyone loves Robot. Everyone loves it.
Robot, robot,
Um
I wish I was a robot. Well, that song's gonna be coming out in 6 days, so they can listen to it so much that they won't wanna listen anymore.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Uh,
Yeah, I also really liked let me open your YouTube. Um, what is it called? One that I
oh,
had on repeat for a while was, let's see, uh, is it Reverie? Nope, not
oh, Reverie. I'm
not
on
Reverie.
vacation and I can't be bothered. Oh, no. Okay.
Which one was it? Videos. We will see. Uh, I mean, Afterthought's really good.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I
Forget
wanna
Me
get Afterthought.
Tomorrow. Forget Me Tomorrow was definitely it for sure.
Oh, yeah, I think when I recorded that, I was also feeling, like, really into
Uh,
it too, so I was like, "Forget me tomorrow, not today," crying while I'm singing.
yeah, I think that one's very cool. I think that one's a good one. Uh yeah, some of them
Yeah.
just like stick to me a lot more than others, but Compass was like
Yeah.
I remember it must have been weeks. It was stuck in my head. Like when I first heard it, I was like I would just be out
Yeah.
like in the middle of like I don't know, like shopping or eating dinner and I'd just be like singing in my head. I'm like this is like
I'm
so
so
good.
sick of writing these sad
And it's
songs.
so funny because, like, the amount of times I've heard you sing that song in different ways is crazy. Like
Yeah, I actually can't decide on how I wanna sing it sometimes, yeah.
which
But
is really
that's what's
cool.
nice about live performing is that, like, at least, like, for some songs, it's, like, different ti each time I play it.
Do you do that for a lot of your songs? Or is
Yeah,
it
sometimes I
just
just get bored of how I play it, and I'm just like I feel like I can improve it, you know? Like, I feel like it because originally Compass, like, when I grabbed my instrument, it was originally sounding like this, right?
Yeah.
Right, and then later on, I turned it to a
Yeah.
and now it's like a now I think it's like a right, like, it's like, I don't know, it just changes every time, different keys. Also, with my voice constantly changing tone,
Right,
like, throughout
yeah.
the month, It's like I gotta find a key that like will be all right. But yeah, no, I like Compass too. I think sometimes I forget about Compass, but that is a fun song. Because my favorite part of it's the love sick, I'm seasick, I'm
Yeah.
homesick, I'm just sick. Like that part is sick. I love it. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah, I
that's
was
it.
really impressed when I wrote those lyrics
That's a good
with
one.
myself.
So Robot's your next release?
Yeah,
In
Robot
6
is next.
days?
I'm
Very
very excited. It's
excited.
coming out in 6 days, guys. If you like Robot, it's all about not wanting to deal with emotions because sometimes being a human means, you have emotions and sometimes you don't want to be feeling them. Like you get upset over the littlest things and you know you shouldn't be upset, but you just do, and it's really troublesome. So I wrote a song called Robot. It's all about like wishing you were motionless. But then towards the end of the song, it has a happy ending. So don't worry, guys. Mhm.
Yeah. No, that's really good. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to hear all the upcoming music. I know I've heard a few snippets here and there from you, but like, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm very excited for your delve into more of your kind of putting more time and effort into getting these songs that you worked so hard on kind of out there and more people seeing them. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you mentioned that because that was a really hard thing for me is because I felt almost really bad that I was like streaming less. Because I was like, oh, my community, like I hope they don't think I'm like leaving them or abandoning them. It's just like not realistic for me to talk for 3 to 8 hours like a day and then have the capacity to even be able to sing my music that I'm trying to release like on a week, 2 week, or like well, like on a month to month basis. It's not just like I'm going through. It's just like after I release my music, especially because how it works now, my job I guess to be is like I'll record and then I go and try to promote my music in like whether it's VR chat or other places and I perform. So it's like having that like having the voice to be able to do it. But yeah, no, it was really tough for me. Because like and still is, it's that weird thing of like, oh, I'm not streaming anymore, but as much. But like I'm not I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm taking a hiatus because I love
Yeah,
the community. But it's like I just don't know how much time I have to stream and I didn't want to be like yeah, guys, I'm still gonna stream the same hours while I'm pursuing this because I don't know. I just would
it's
rather
just
say
not
I'm gonna be
possible.
on less,
Yeah,
and if I end up coming back and I'm streaming a lot of hours again, then it's like, okay, then it's fine, but I don't wanna promise something I can't, and then, like yeah,
exactly.
so hoping people
Are
will
you
like the
planning to have
music.
a very nice album launch party somewhere?
No, I didn't really think about that, but it would be cool. I mean, my I haven't even thought about what my album art's gonna look like, but
Mm.
but hopefully I will. It's probably gonna be a real life picture. I've been kind of mixing up some of my albums with like
I
real life
saw
and
I think Strangers has real
yeah,
life
strangers
art.
is me and my friends.
It's such a
We're
good art. That's
flipping
such a
each
good
other off
cover.
some some with some smileys added to censor. But
It's so good.
yeah, I I'm very excited to release Treasure when that song comes out because that song has well it's a picture of like these really pretty flowers and I'm very excited to show that. So
Awesome. Is that something you've been thinking more of recently? Like when you
I
after you've written a song, you're like, okay, is there anything in the real world that I can tie this song to that like I want to go out and capture?
yeah, sometimes or like sometimes I have friends who will send me a bunch of photos and I'm just like, hey, like I really like this photo, like could I use it for one of my songs? And they're like, sure. And then, okay, cool. um so because I have a friend who does photography for fun and I'm just like, I would love to use your stuff. You're okay with it? And
Oh,
they'll be
that's
like, yeah,
awesome.
sure. And it's not being used anywhere else. Like it's nothing, it's just sitting in my phone. And I was like, yeah, I'll use it.
Yeah.
um but yeah, sometimes I'll take pictures. Um I know like I'm still gonna have some pictures that will be my VTuber model, but I want to kind of like blend in like IRL
Yeah.
and the anime community. I don't want people just think, "Oh, you can only listen I'm only gonna listen to this music because 'cause I'm an anime fan."
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
someone recently comment on one of my songs. I was like, "You know, they're like, normally I don't like VTuber songs, but this one's pretty good." And I was like, "Oh, thank you for the compliment." Like, because normally I could see how people could get offended by that because it's like it's just music. It's meant to be enjoyed by all. But there are gonna be people who just don't listen to a song because the VTuber made it.
Yeah.
So and I wanna show, like, I kinda wanna be like, "Hey, like, whether I'm a VTuber or not doesn't matter in terms with my music," right? Like, this music is just meant for everyone, regardless of if I'm a human or an anime boy or a fish, like, it's meant to be just listened to. But
Yeah.
at the same time, so I hope I can do that, and I hope I can get that stigma away where, because there unfortunately is that stigma of like, "Oh, you're a VTuber. Oh, that's weird," right? Or like, "Oh, you like anime. That's weird," or something like that. And hopefully, with my songs, it's funny because you see musicians who are faceless, like IRL musicians who are faceless.
Yeah.
People will be like, "Oh, you're so cool. I can't wait to see your face." But if you're a VTuber and you do that, it's like, "Are you ugly? Is that why you hide behind a character?" And it's like 2 different responses, but it's like the same thing, right? One is hiding their face, but like IRL, one is using a model, and it's like essentially the same thing. But yeah, people are so
I
funny. I
think,
laugh about some of this.
I think one comment I got on one of my TikToks was like, "Oh, I'd like this a lot more if it didn't have the cartoon." I was like,
Like,
"Oh, okay. Cartoon. Okay." Uh,
Yeah, no, it's funny. You like I had some I've had some nasty comments said to me, and usually I just reply back and say like I'm like someone was like they're like, "Oh, they're like you must they're like, "Oh, your voice is nice, but you should use like face cam." Or and then I was like, "Okay, whatever." And the next comment is like, "Oh, this guy is like his I was like his parents must not be proud of him because he's a VTuber."
oh my
And I'll be like
god.
and I'll comment and I'll be like, "So true," like, sad face emoji.
Yeah.
I just have fun with it. I just like, whatever. I just laugh at
Sandbagging
it.
their insult is the funniest thing. Just being like, "So true."
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have so much fun when people leave mean comments because I disagree with it, like, when they're like they're like sounds like, "You must be ugly." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, that's why I'm a VTuber."
It's
Like, I
so
just have so much
ridiculous. It's so ridiculous how people can just automatically default to that kind of behavior just because of like a type of content, right?
Yeah, or just because they don't understand it, so they're like,
Yeah.
"I don't like it, I don't know it, like, what? This is weird, so I'm not gonna I'm gonna do say something really weird," but I don't know. I don't really mind. I've had a lot of people who used to troll me on purpose and, like,
Mm.
send, like, hate, like, to me, but I used to well, you know me, I'm very patient for the most part. A lot of these people, like, I've had a lot of people that trolled me, and eventually over time they'd keep trolling me. I never banned this was back in the day I didn't have mods, so I wouldn't ban them. I would just like be like, "Oh, hey again, like you're flaming me." I was like, "All right, I was like, "That's fine." And I just be like, I was like, I don't really care to do it, but I was like, is there a reason why? And eventually one of them end up opening up to me like on my stream, and then they joined me on VR chat, and they were really normal. And eventually they became someone who, like, loved my community. They went from being they told me, like, if I didn't watch your streams, they're like, "I was so toxic, and now I'm not." And that's why I try to be so open-minded, and because I try when someone is, like, negative, I try to think, what is making them feel this way? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on in their life? Because like, most times when people like, if people give me, like, death threats randomly or, like, make fun of me, I'm like, what is going so wrong in this person's life that they need to do this, like, in
Yeah,
a
exactly.
random open space, right? And sometimes I'll, like, talk about it. If nowadays my mom just insta ban it, good on them.
No,
But back
I wasn't the toxic person. I wasn't me.
yeah, that's how I meant. 'Cause no, I was just kidding. But, but yeah, no, because some people just, it's more like they're searching for help, but they do it in an attention-seeking way.
Yeah.
Um, and it's sad, and most times, usually, it's younger people, I would say. And so, I don't know, I like to believe I always believe in second chances. I always like to believe sometimes people just don't know better. Sometimes they do it because it makes them feel better, but then they feel bad about it later, you know? I don't know. I always like to believe that there's a reason why everyone does something, even if maybe I'm being too much of a doormat sometimes. But I like to believe that not everyone is like truly evil, even though there are definitely some evil people out there. I like to believe sometimes it's because of how they were raised, sometimes it's like environmental thing, and that's why I'm a safe space for all because I mean I have no tolerance for like really toxic behavior, but there are some people who just don't know better, and I feel like maybe maybe they just need someone to be like, hey, like why you being this way? Like what's going on in
Yeah,
your life, man?
I get that. I get that. Yeah, it's always you're always gonna have to just deal with that hate in the online world in any
Yep.
way. You know, some people take advantage of it. Some people just completely give into it and fight back. uh
Mm,
Usually I think with my community it's if anyone says anything kind of weird, it's not really the place for them. You know,
yeah.
sometimes they come back and they're like, "Oh, sorry," or I'm like, "Oh, like we're not really comfortable with that kind of language here, or not really. I don't feel comfortable with
Mm.
that term or whatever." And hopefully, like 8, 9 times out of 10, they're like, "Oh, okay, sorry." Um, and
Yeah,
then
like some people like who just won't know better because they don't read the rules
yeah,
properly.
yeah,
So,
yeah. But
yeah.
yeah. Cool. I mean, I guess we can kind of start wrapping up because I don't want to keep you too
Sure.
long. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
you've
I've
still
had a
got
lot
an
of fun.
evening. Uh, of
That's true, I
course,
woke up like at 4 p.m. or something, so yeah. My day's just starting, very normal 4 p.m. wake up time.
of course, of course. No, thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it, Billy. You are
Yeah,
always a person I kind of look up to in terms of like music and like fostering like a wholesome community. So it was really really nice of you to come on and talk to me and talk to my community as well. Is there anything you wanna promote or shout out before we wrap this up?
yeah,
Um,
sure, if you guys like, acoustic ukulele relatable songs. I'm this year gonna be working on a lot, so my Spotify is the same as my name, One Little Piranha, and I'll be out working really hard to get some music out. If you like anything, also be sure to support Kuzi, of course, as well too. Kuzi's worked so hard, and I mean, I just want to say like, yeah, thank you for doing what you do because I it's not easy, it's not easy always being a safe space for all because you have to also feel good those days trying to, like, promote positivity even when you don't always feel the best.
mhm.
But guys also in regards to that, it's okay to be emotional, it's okay to let your emotions out. I think a lot of people sometimes hide how they feel too much, so let yourself cry if you need to cry, man. Like, I mean, I cry all the time 'cause I'm a big baby.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's see. Who are we gonna raid? We are gonna raid someone. Let's send people over to Tomato Master, a fellow Canadian VTuber who is also
Alright.
space themed. Let me do
Oh, that's
this.
cool.
We'll do a slash raid. And we do this. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. I will catch you all later.
Thank you.
Say bye to Billy, of course. And